Good Saturday morning. Please, I'm doing all these things in one shot here. So I'm not going to be I'm a friend repetitive. Anyway, again, I'm going to stick with the gospel, okay? And this is the calling of the apostles, okay? Jesus went around to all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every disease and illness. At the sight of the crowds, his heart was moved with pity for them because they were troubled and banded like sheep without a shepherd. Talk about the contemporary world. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So ask the master of the harvest to send out laborers for his harvest. Then he summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to drive them out and to cure every disease and every illness. Jesus sent out these 12 after instructing them, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, make this proclamation, the kingdom of heaven's at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, drive out demons. Without cost you receive, without cost you are to give. Okay? Calling the shepherds. I think the church is calling us now in all different ways. We're not talking about the priesthood, although that's crucially important, obviously, for the sacraments and for religious life, for its own specific missions. It's a call for all of us. I think we have entered the age of the laity. When I think of that little girl I just described, her proclamation in that classroom, her simple proclamation that she believes, see? That's shepherding the flock, see? She's proclaiming the gospel, see? You can't miss it. It's powerful, you see? Who is she proclaiming? To no one in particular, to everyone in particular. The young guy was my little atheist pal, okay? See? But in proclaiming it, she's witnessing to us all, you see? Okay? That's powerful stuff, and I think it's going to come. The laity are going to be the people whose proclamation is going to be the most poignant. I see that now happening. We're moving from a clerical-centered religion, as it were in Catholicism especially, clerical meaning priestly, emphasis on the priesthood, to a much broader notion of the Christian ministry. As the laity are professionalized in so many manners, apart and beyond just families, which is huge beyond description. But in almost every leadership position, it's in contemporary society, economic, political, educational, it's led by lay people. And they are the instruments, they will be the instruments of a Christian vision of deep humanity, deep humanism. I believe that. Take a place like SLU, the university. How many Jesuits are actually on the faculty? A handful. Maybe we got 3 in our department, a couple in theology, but you look, there's maybe 10 active Jesuits, but look at the commitment of the laity who are equally engaged in the witness of the gospel and the Jesuit ideal of education. You see? We are in it together. The Church Universal is the apostolic voice. We are the apostles, all of us. We are heirs to the 12, commissioned to proclaim Christ to the world for her redemption and hope. And I see it so clearly coming from our young people. I see it coming from the laity. At the same time, there are a couple of students in my class that are aspiring to the priesthood. That's interesting for me. They're talking to me about it. We have a young Jesuit in the class. Another one, I forget the name of the order. But you see, they're not the voices. The voices are coming from all quarters. You see, it's an interesting. We have entered global Christianity. Global, and it doesn't only mean geographically global or racially and ethnically global. But I want to say, in terms of the laity, we are a global. We're all apostles, and I think. I could be wrong, but I actually think that the laity will play the dominant role because they are precisely in positions of key leadership in almost every social instrument available to humanity. That dominate the medical profession, obviously. They dominate education, okay? For the amount of clergy, priests, or even brothers that are in it, They're 1 out of 100,000. It's tiny. It's almost insignificant. It is insignificant if you look at the numbers. And yet we are apostolic. All of us are apostolic in our mission of handing on a deep Christian humanism, a global Christianity that is the hope of mankind. We are at the university level, the kindergarten. We are forming a people of leadership. Christian leadership. When I talk to my kids in class, I say, I believe in tomorrow because I believe in you. I look into the eyes of these young men and women. They are so beautiful. They are so bright and full of life. I have hope. I have hope. And I can see in their witness value, they are going to make a difference. They're not passive. They're not Lord, Lord. They mean it. They've been down the road and they've taken a beating in some ways because of their faith, because of their commitments. But in so doing, they witness. You have to see them. They take me on. I'm the teacher, take me on. Not to be rambunctious, but because their faith is so real to them. Even my friend, the atheist, he's wonderful too because he takes me on. He is committed. I respect that. You see? I tease him like hell. Yeah. But he's beautiful, you see? In some ways, he's a great foil for those who do believe because when they banter, when they engage each other, it's a better way to put it. There's power in that. There's real power. It's not pious. It's apostolic witnessing from people who have been martyred by life, often who have suffered greatly in this world, suffered already, more than I ever saw. And I'm 60 years older than them, 60. Yeah, so it's interesting. Anyway, I think of us as the descendants of the apostles. All of us, we all play our role in the evangelization of the world as we form a global community of diverse people forming a singular humanity, a global humanity of peace. As treacherous and violent as the world is, and as dangerous it is also a world open to the gospel in a way it maybe hasn't been in hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years, to this Isaiah prophecy of a world in which we come together at a sacred table, eating together. Yeah. That's something, isn't it? I have hope. I think I conclude with this. I have profound hope in the Isaiah prophecy because I look into its eyes every day I walk in a classroom. I look into their eyes and I see reasons to hope. It's in their person, in their beauty, in the strength of their convictions. They're not going along for the ride. They are going to be the leaders. That's what I said to them. You are going to lead. You're going to be the leaders of the nation. You're educated. You're smart. You got profound values. You're not followers. You're leaders. You are going to make a difference. You're going to make a real difference. I think of our Chinese students that are graduate students here. They're from China. They're getting their PhDs from us, and they're going back to China to teach. I said, they're pagan, they're atheists, but they've tasted the sweet wine of Christianity, and they found it tasteful and sweet. They'll never be antagonistic to Christianity. They may still be atheists, they may be Marxist, but they've already tasted two things: freedom, academic and otherwise, and the sweet water, the sweet wine of Christianity. They've been treated with love by Christian community. You can't taste that and then turn foul on it. You won't. They will plant a seed of Christianity in their students, at least an affection for it as opposed to an animosity. They will not be Marxists. They may be atheists, but they won't be Marxists. In their hate of the church, they will not hate the church because they found sweetness in her wine.